So, you thought your week was busy? You had to do laundry, maybe return a few emails you've been ignoring, across the vast and incredibly diverse continent of Africa? Things have been just a little more intense. While the world was busy watching cat videos and arguing about whether pineapple belongs on pizza, Africa was dealing with some major league stuff. We're talking about massive street protests, high-stakes international diplomacy, a mysterious death that sounds like the plot of a spy movie. It's a continent of over 1 billion people. Big things happen, and a lot of it flies right under the radar. This week, the headlines that should have been on your feed were popping in Madagascar. People are taking to the streets. The president is responding in a way that's, well, it's a response. Meanwhile, in Paris, a South African ambassador dies under strange circumstances. Then you hop over to Morocco, where the youth are questioning a massive new football stadium. And in the world of economics, Botswana is about to make a deal with the US that could change the diamond game forever. It's a full-on geopolitical soap opera, with real-world consequences. Each of these stories pulls back the curtain on a different facet of modern Africa. They show a continent not just grappling with old challenges, but also navigating the complexities of the 21st century. A place of vibrant youth movements demanding accountability. Nations negotiating their place on the world stage, communities striving for peace against incredible odds. These aren't just isolated incidents, they are interconnected threads in a much larger story of change. It's a story of progress and problems, often happening at the exact same time, on the very same street. So, let's get into it. From the Indian Ocean Islands to the heart of the Sahara, and catch you up on the news you probably missed. Because what happens in Africa doesn't just stay in Africa. These events have ripples that are felt across the globe, influencing everything from the jewelry you buy to the diplomatic relationships your country holds. It's time to pay attention because the continent is speaking, and it has a lot to say. Forget what you think you know. This is Africa, unfiltered. Down in Madagascar, the streets of the capital, Antananarivo, have been buzzing for all the wrong reasons. Thousands of citizens have decided that their daily routine should include a little more, shall we say, civic engagement. They are out in force, protesting against President Andry Rajoelina. Students, office workers, everyday people who are fed up. Their main complaints? A struggling economy, rising costs of living, and a feeling that the government isn't listening. They want tangible changes, and they want them now. It's been a slow burn. Fuel prices have gone up, the cost of rice is through the roof, and jobs are scarce. And how has President Rajoelina responded to all this? Well, he hasn't exactly been silent. In a televised address to the nation, he acknowledged the people's hardships, but urged for calm and unity. He promised a new package of economic relief measures, including subsidies on essential goods, and a new job creation program. The government has also increased police presence in the capital, framing it as a move to maintain order and prevent chaos. The protesters say promises aren't enough. They want concrete action and a clear timeline, while opposition leaders try to keep the momentum. This is a litmus test for democracy in Madagascar, a high-stakes political chess match where the next move could change everything. This next story comes straight out of a John le Carré novel. South Africa's ambassador to France, a respected career diplomat named Thabo Molefe, was found dead in his lavish Parisian apartment. Now, when a high-ranking diplomat dies, it's always news. But when the circumstances are this mysterious, it becomes an international incident. The French authorities were the first on the scene, and they've been very tight-lipped. They initially suggested there were no obvious signs of foul play, but they also haven't ruled anything out. Which, in diplomatic language, means we have no idea what happened. But this is a huge headache. The South African government has expressed shock, calling for a full and transparent investigation. They've dispatched their own team to work alongside the French police. They want answers, and they want them fast. First, there's the human tragedy of a respected public servant dying far from home. But beyond that, the diplomatic implications are massive. An ambassador's safety is paramount. Was it a random crime? Was it politically motivated? Was he involved in something that put him in danger? Every question is a potential landmine. For now, everyone is in a holding pattern. awaiting autopsy and joint investigation results. The resolution of this mystery will be a major indicator of trust and cooperation between two powerful nations. Let's talk about something shiny. Botswana, a country that has built its modern success on the back of diamonds, is on the verge of a landmark trade deal with the United States. This isn't just any deal, it's a potential zero-tariff agreement for its diamonds. That means selling cut and polished stones directly to the US without paying any import taxes. It's a massive step toward controlling more of their own diamond destiny, beyond just digging rocks out of the ground. For decades, rough stones went to overseas hubs to be cut, polished, and sold for higher prices. This deal changes that. Botswana has invested in its own cutting and polishing, keeping more value at home. The US market access makes Botswana's polished diamonds more competitive and attractive, creating skilled jobs and adding immense value inside the country. This economic maneuver is incredibly important, a major shift in the global supply chain. It positions Botswana as a player in finished luxury goods, not just raw materials. It could set a precedent for other resource-rich nations, moving up the global value chain. If signed, it may reshape trade dynamics, a triumph of economic diplomacy years in the making. Finally, let's turn to a story of hope and hard work in the heart of the continent. The United Nations has been doubling down on peace-building efforts focused on Chad and the Central African Republic, the CAR. These neighbors have faced instability, internal conflict, and humanitarian crises. This week's meetings aim to reinforce existing agreements and recommit all parties to dialogue. In Chad, the focus is supporting a transition to civilian rule and ensuring free, fair elections. For the CAR, disarming rebel groups and reintegrating former fighters is central. The UN Peacebuilding Commission is aligning international support, funding DDR, election monitoring, and reconciliation projects. Because conflict doesn't stay inside borders, it spills over, destabilizing neighbors and creating refugee crises. Peacebuilding tackles root causes: poverty, weak governance, and competition over resources. It's the slow, grinding work that determines futures for millions. Progress that isn't always loud or fast. These stories show the struggle for stability and the commitment to a more peaceful, prosperous future for all.